I don't know, especially like in LA, there's this like kind of really, you know, West Side Story, like Jets and the Sharks vibe of like
Mhm.
athletes versus musical theater kids. And like you
Sure.
can do both.
This podcast is about you, your journey in music, and obviously we'll talk about seasons and what you have going on right now.
Amazing. Lovely.
Cool. Very cool. So where were you born and raised?
So I'm actually an LA native. I was
Are
born
you?
here, yeah, and have been here pretty much ever since.
Wow. I'm
It's
from
very
San Diego
weird.
originally. There's not a whole lot of us originally from Southern California.
Spring is from San Diego, and then summer is also from LA, but winter's from Indiana. So we're always like our little country
Ah.
girl.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize you said Spring is from San Diego.
Yeah, Spring's from San Diego. Shout
Oh,
out
that's cool.
Spring.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're originally from LA. What part of LA?
Oh, West Side, like by UCLA.
Oh, right on. What was it like growing up in Los Angeles? I mean, obviously, a lot of people come there, like San Diego. What was it like growing up in LA?
I mean, I can't really compare it to anything else because I grew up here, so I thought everything was pretty normal. But you know, like I got started, you know, doing music and entertainment like pretty young and just kind of thought that was normal. Like
Mhm.
like I still did school and was, you know, played sports and was a very, you know, average little baby autumn. But I got into music in the first place actually singing backup for like rock bands and like pop punk bands. Um,
Really?
like Panic at the Disco and like Fun. And I didn't really know at the time that that was like such an insane thing to be doing. And then in
Right.
retrospect, I'm like, oh, I've already performed at the Roxy. Like I did a lot of this stuff like when I was like 10 or 11 or 12.
Really? How are you getting? So you were what, like on stage singing backups with these people?
Yeah, I was in a children's choir. And I guess that when these artists would need a children's choir to do anything, they would Google like LA Children's Choir.
Uh
And like
huh.
the first thing that popped up was mine. And yeah, shout out West LA Children's Choir. But yeah, and so got into singing backup and did a lot of really fun, cool stuff, you know,
Wow. Did
as
you?
a youngin'.
Yeah. Aside from singing, did you pick up an instrument at early age at all?
Yeah, I played piano growing up, like so now I play keys for seasons sometimes.
Hmm.
I briefly played harp for a little bit.
Oh, that's a cool instrument.
I was never very good.
I've never met anyone that plays harp.
Well, next if you're in LA, next time come by. We'll
I will. I would love to hear you play the harp. That's a really a rad instrument. That's cool. So piano. How old are you when picked up piano?
um probably probably like second or third grade. Like not well, just kind of to have some sort of like musical background. I'm still pretty bad, but you know, if I need to be like running a warm up or just playing along, you know, for to do like a pop cover or something.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, or like we do a live Build a Boy for our most recent single.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I play keys on that and Winter plays guitar. So it's kind of fun to like
That's
we do
cool.
the pop girl band stuff, but then
Uh-huh.
sometimes we also do like soft, you know, live music stuff.
Cool. And what drew you to singing and music originally?
I was actually always really into musical theater.
Okay.
Like before I could read, I was Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz when I was 5.
Wow.
And I could literally couldn't read. So to learn my lines, like my sister just had to read it to me until I could just remember them. And so then that's just how I really got into it because I was like, ooh, like we're telling this story through song, which is this
Uh-huh.
thing that I do and can sing, but I can't read. I don't know. That's how I kind of got into it.
So you were always a singer. Obviously, you had a natural talent for it.
Yeah, I guess I kind of always was singing. It's really interesting because like all four of us really, you know, were drawn to singing at like a pretty young age, but
Uh-huh.
everybody is like very, you know, has very disparate inspiration. You know, like Summer is very much like Ariana Grande, like raised on like, you know, bubblegum pop, and then
Mhm.
Winter was like very like Alanis Morissette and like just a lot more soulful. And then meanwhile, like I'm over here like listening to show tunes all the time and Josh Groban. Um, and you know it like kind of mushes us all together.
That is awesome. So you started to do shows and pretty big things actually, when you're in this children's choir. And was that something you had to audition for?
I don't really remember. I was so little when I started. Like
Okay.
my first gig ever was when I was 5 and I sang backup for Celine Dion. And I had no idea. I didn't actually know about that until I was like 10 or 11. Like I didn't even know
Really?
that was a thing that I did. But I don't know. I was just so little. I don't remember. I have to ask my mom.
Wow. Well, so you were obviously good. You're in this choir, and so you didn't have no idea you're singing with like Celine Dion and Fun and Panic at the Disco. You were just okay. There's somebody needs us to sing at the Roxy or wherever you were performing, and you guys would just show up and do it.
Yeah, I really had no idea. Like my mom would come with me, and she like Brandon Urie, she would always be like, "You should be more like him. Like he's so good. Like listen to his voice. It's amazing. Every time he rehearses, it's exactly the same." And I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. Like I'm just here. Does anyone have any fruit snacks? Like,
Right.
but yeah. And now I'm old, and I'm like, I did not. I wish I had been more aware.
Right. I mean, that's crazy. So obviously, sounds like your mom's a pretty big advocate of what you're doing and
Yeah, no,
supporter.
my mom, I'm really lucky. Like my family has been so supportive of this whole journey, of my whole life. Because I dropped out of college to join SZNS, and
Really?
I was really like, when I first called my mom, I was like, hey, I know you've always really you cared about my academics and like always wanted me to really, like focus on school and do the academic track, but like I want to join this band. And she was kind of not super, she was apprehensive at first, but
Mhm.
once I started sending her our songs, she's like, wait, I'm such a big fan. Like your music's great. Like if your songs were bad, I would say go back to college, but like these are good, so you should keep doing it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So she co-signed on it for you.
Yeah,
Well, what did you go to college for? You're just something totally different?
I actually went to school for neuroscience.
Wow. Okay, that's a jump.
I didn't stay with it. I ended up, I was like, there's way too much research. So I ended up going from neuroscience well, until everything changed. I was doing cognitive science and film. Um, and I really do want to go back and finish.
Mhm.
Um, but th-
Oh,
someday,
this will pan out. Yeah.
someday.
Who cares about you can always go back to school, right?
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Okay. So when you were in high school and middle school, and did you stick with musical theater and chorus and did all that through high school?
Yeah, I really tried to, like I was not one of those kids that really had like one thing that they were like all in about, like
Mhm.
so into flute or so into physics. And I was really into science. I was really into, I played volleyball and I was a diver growing up. And so I was really into sports, but I also, really loved performing and dancing and singing. And so I really tried to kind of do everything. And
Mhm.
and I feel like I don't know, there's definitely multiple camps on this of like find one thing and get really good at it and be the best in your field, or people being like it's better to be kind of good at a bunch of stuff than I don't know. I don't People all have different opinions on it. I always
Mhm.
felt like, while I'm young and while I have so much life ahead of me, like why not try to do all sorts of stuff?
Yeah, just
Uh,
cast a wider net of things that you could, you might fall in love with one of them more than everything else.
yeah. But then that being said, I was never like super good at anything, because I'm spending a ton of time playing sports, but also like not, doing my homework as much. And then I don't know, especially like in LA, there's this like kind of really, West Side Story, like Jets and the Sharks vibe of like
Mhm.
athletes versus musical theater kids. And like you
Sure.
can do both.
Right, right, right.
But it all worked out. I don't know.
That's cool. Where'd you go? UCLA?
I went to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore.
Oh, wow. So you left. You
Yeah,
totally left LA. Okay.
left.
That must have been a big jump. Wow.
Yeah, I loved it. It was so great. I mean, also shout out Southwest has this one direct flight, like this one like LA to Baltimore direct flight. That's like pretty cheap and happens 3 times a day. And
Mhm.
so when I was deciding on like where I was gonna go, I was really like, yo, that flight is too good. Like I have to, because
Have to,
you gotta do
yeah.
it.
Yeah. But that's crazy though. I mean, you went from LA, sunshine West Coast, to all the way clear across the whole country to Baltimore, where it's probably freezing cold, and now you're on the East Coast.
It was not that bad. I feel like I was
Okay.
going to be way colder. We had like one snow day a year.
Okay.
And then the rest of it is just, it's really, soggy in the
Okay.
summer, and there's a lot of mosquitoes. But other than that, it's pretty lovely.
Was it a pretty big culture shock or no?
Not really. It was definitely like, I think, well, also just any kind of college town is going to be a lot more walkable than LA. And
Mhm.
so that it was weird not spending 5 hours in my car all the time.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I loved it. I also obviously like looking back, rose-colored glasses thing. Like I'm not remembering like all the all-nighters and crying over like getting C's on physics,
Of course.
but I loved it.
Were
And
you
then
doing, were you singing there at all, or was it just mainly academics?
I was in a comedy a cappella group.
Oh, cool.
And it was really such a good time. Like I actually a lot of my like current musical ability I actually attribute to that, because I didn't know how to sight sing
Uh-huh.
until I joined an a cappella group. And we weren't very good. It was like all, it was comedy. Like we would just crack jokes all the time and like sing songs about like nudes, and we did a Mamma Mia parody that was actually called Gonorrhea. It was like very like classic college
Sure.
shenanigans, but I learned a lot about singing, and so that was really cool. But yeah, it wasn't very serious. It was not like serious competitions. It was kind of just a social thing.
Just a fun thing. And then how does Seasons begin? Like, it sounds like you left college to join this band, but you're in Baltimore. Is that where you met the rest of the girls?
No, so I came back for the summer after my junior year, and I was already kind of toying with the idea of like maybe taking a semester off so that I could graduate with my classmates.
Mhm.
Um, but I also didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I was pre-med, but I was also into film, and I loved making movies and like making projects. So I really was, kind of like not sure where I was going to go. And then I was home for the summer. I was like interning with an eye doctor and a dermatologist, and like trying to see if I could get, if how I would do. So, with all the blood, like if that was going to be something that would work.
Sure.
Um,
Like, personally, I could not hang. That would not be for me.
but then I came across the audition for Seasons.
Okay.
I actually think like a friend or somebody that I had like acted with in the past sent it to me, or I saw like I was online. And so I just went because it was Saturday and I was free. And it was this like big, in like Fame or in movies when they'll show like a dramatic version of an audition where there's like girls down the block and everybody's wearing,
Uh-huh.
a sign with a number on it, and they're like yelling people's numbers and stuff. It was like that. There was like a ton of girls. It was
Wow.
in this like kind of warehousey thing, and everybody looked really pretty. And I don't know. I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna stick around for this. This seems pretty intense.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm in line, to check in, and there's a girl next to me, and I'm trying to make conversation. Like I'm just trying to be, friendly and make some friends. I'm gonna be here all day. And I'm like, wow, like this is so crazy. There's so many girls here. It's gonna take a long time. And this girl whips around and looks at me and is like, if you can't handle this, you should just leave. So obviously, I'm like, all right, I guess I have to stay now. I can't leave because, this girl. Um, yeah, and so we all sang, and then they, have some people stay and dance together. And then that's actually, I didn't meet winter and spring, but I did meet summer. She was sitting next to me. And I
Mhm.
remember I was like, this girl is so pretty and has the most beautiful hair and like is so nice. And then we actually, the four of us danced together. They put us in a group to dance together. And then I kind of was like, okay, that was a fun day. That was
Mhm.
a fun thing to do. And then a couple days later, they brought us back in for a callback where we sang together with some other girls as well. And then there was another meeting and stuff. And then we were Seasons.
Wow. So did you know what it was going to be at the, like, when you went into it? Did you know that they were trying to form a group of, for females that was going to be called Seasons? Like, was that all a plan ahead of time, or did it kind of come together after they picked you for?
It we actually had no idea. Winter and I both thought that we were auditioning to be a band in a movie.
Oh,
Like in Game of Thrones they'll have like a band be playing like as the bards. I don't know, or like
right.
or no, not the Pussycat Dolls. Like in Riverdale they'll have Josie and the Pussycats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I kind of thought it was one of those situations that it would still be a band, but like that it was for a TV show.
Specifically for like something.
Yeah, but then when they didn't tell us about seasons or that who was going to be who. Then they brought us in and we're like, okay, here's the band. Welcome, you're in the band. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, what does that mean? You're like, okay, I'm in this band. Do they they're like, okay, do they lay it out for you? Like I'm super curious about this.
Yeah. So the season's founder and our manager, she just had this idea. She had really been like, America has been missing a girl group for a while. And even like I was watching the MTV Awards the other day and I was like, there is no American girl group. Like there's no. What's good with that? And yeah, so she had this idea to do a group where each of the girls is a season and like highlights those different aspects of their personality, but then coming together we form a year. And yeah, so then she had this idea and wanted to put it together and she held auditions, and then when we came in she told us the idea. We were all like super jazzed about it, and she just said, she said, who do you think you are? And I was like, I have no idea. I don't know. Like, I really couldn't tell you. And then the minute she was like, you're fall, I was like, obviously. Like, that makes so much sense. Like, oh, okay, now that you say it, like, yeah, obviously. And I don't know. Now when I think, like, I'm like, summer is so obviously summer. Like, winter is obviously winter. Spring's got that, spring energy. Like,
so they already knew who was who when they and they probably were seeking out who was going to be what season, and then they're like, okay, this girl would be perfect for this. So then you found out who everybody was, and then because you guys write the songs together, right?
Yeah, we do. We initially that was not part of the plan. They figured like these girls are awesome. They were like really fun and great dancers and great singers. And most or like a lot of pop artists don't write their own music,
right?
So we would sing other people's songs, but then we ended up all kind of hanging out on Summer's couch or something, like at her old apartment, just kind of chilling, and started writing Tequila with Lime together.
Okay.
And that was our first single, and then so we went into a studio, wrote the rest of it and cut it, and then sent it over to our manager. And she immediately calls us and is like, girls, what the fuck? And we're like, what? She's like, this is amazing. This is the first single. Like, we're putting this out. And so then, since then, we are super down to do, music we write, music one of us writes, music that other writers write. But so far, the stuff that we write ourselves just feels a lot more genuine to, who we are. And, I think like as we develop and have more music, then we'll be able to find more stuff that fits with us. But yeah, so all the songs we have out, we've written.
That's cool. So it wasn't like you guys you came together and they're like, okay, here's the record, learn it and sing it, and then we'll try to put you on the road or whatever. It was like you started really ground up and you were able to build and write the songs together. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool because we all of us had like kind of written in the past, kind of just for fun or like wanting to just express ourselves, but none of us were really like, we are songwriters, so kind of going through that journey together has been really, really amazing. And especially because, I think a lot about like solo artists who, get started and like have all this pressure and are like, oh, should I say this or should I sing it like this? And since there are 4 of us and we all know like how everybody's feeling, because we're in the same boat, all the uncertainty that I know I feel, I know that they feel. And we really, like if I'm like, is this lyric dumb? I have 3 girls being like, no, that lyric is not dumb, or that lyric is dumb.
Well, wow. The group started pretty recently though, right? Like when did you guys get together?
We got together. So we went through that whole process
Mm-hmm.
summer of 2019, but we didn't really like get our act together and like get all assembled until like November, December. And then we had Tequila with Lime, shot the music video, and just when we were ready to put it out, it was suddenly March 2020.
Oh,
And so
wow.
we kind of really had to hit the brakes.
Yeah. How was that? I mean, you had momentum going, everyone just got together, and now everything comes to a stop.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. I mean, I know that everybody has like it's been a wild experience for globally,
Sure.
obviously, but yeah, it was very weird to be like, okay, you're living with these girls, even the strangers, essentially, like,
Oh, they put you all together to live together?
yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
that we could get to know each other really quickly. And so, like, you're waking up, you're working with friends with, you know, I mean, it also super helped that we did really get along, like, pretty much
Mhm.
from the jump. Like, even, we would go to parties together and like hang out and have sleepovers every night. But it was very crazy. Suddenly, we have no idea what's gonna happen. We have no idea, like, are we ever gonna put out music? Are we still a band? Like,
Mhm.
are we ever gonna perform? Um, Especially with Tequila with Lime, like, very much in the queue, like, ready to be in the world. And we're like, when would ever be the right time to put that out and to be making moves? And what ended up really happening was because we were forced to, because we couldn't do anything publicly or physically, we
Mhm.
ended up all getting on TikTok and really finding a lot of a fan base there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So and it honestly, like, I'm not really all that into like manifesting and like fate. I'm just not really like that. But
Mhm.
looking back, it's like, unless we were forced to, you know, since we were forced to stay in the house and spend all this time together, then we did have all that time to like write and get to know each other's like workflow and make a lot of content and be reaching out online to people and be posting about ourselves and about what we do on TikTok, and people found us. And so our main fan base really came from TikTok and then moved over to Instagram and YouTube. And it's pretty amazing.
That is. Wow. So, I mean, TikTok really blew up. I mean, when everyone was home in the beginning of this pandemic, and it sounds like you guys were able to capitalize on that as far as like getting people to watch your videos and stick around and build a community there.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it was definitely like TikTok really lucked out that everybody, had all this time to be,
Right.
but also that we really didn't have any other way to be, accessing the public and like be, putting stuff out and being like, do you guys like this? And like, what is going on? And like, let us please tell us, like, what should we do?
Hmm.
And and yeah, now that we're, starting to perform again, it's really crazy, like meeting people who are like, yeah, no, we found you on TikTok. Like, I just saw you on my FYP, saw it, thought these are some four girls that seemed like a lot of fun, and then realized you were a band, and then got into the music.
Wow. And what about Tequila with Lime? Was that something that you guys put out fairly soon, or once the TikTok or once everything kind of came stopping, how long did you hold that song?
So we ended up putting it out in July. So July 17th of 2020.
Okay.
So we held on to it for quite a while and just like we were kind of floundering before that, posting random stuff on TikTok. It was early
Uh-huh.
TikTok days, so no one really knew what they were doing.
Right.
Um, And then yeah, we put that out, got a really good response from it.
Mhm.
And then our next song, Faster, we ended up doing an animated video because we couldn't get a crew to like shoot a
Right.
live action one, and it ended up being really great. It was just, and then just from there, we put out Behave for my birthday. uh
Mhm.
we weren't going to put it out. It was 5 days before my birthday, and I was like, you know what, I love this song. I Who knows if I'm going to live to tomorrow, let's just do it. Like, I need the song to be out.
Uh-huh.
um and so we just 3 days later put it out. you know,
That
we
one's
like
doing awesome as well. I mean, all the songs you've put out are doing really, really well.
yeah, Behave actually just last week is in the new Victoria Justice Netflix movie.
Really?
So cute because the whole movie is like, I'm not I'm not gonna give away any spoilers, but like she's
Uh-huh.
really, you know, in that like never learned how to behave lifestyle. And then like kind of figures out what she's gonna do in her path. And so it was really good, it was really fitting, and it was really fun to see, you know, it was weird. Like I'm like, I know I like this song, but like enough other people do to have it be in this movie.
Yeah, that
That's
must have been a
crazy.
trip to see that for the first time, was it?
It was really crazy. And then having people text me being like, "Hey, is I'm watching this Victoria Justice movie. Like, is this Behave right now?" I'm like, "Yeah,
That's awesome. That is awesome. And it looks like, I mean, from your Instagram and everything else that you have had a chance to perform. What was it like performing for the first time with, these girls that you haven't really known for all that long, but I mean, to kind of throw this all together and then have the pandemic happen, was it like, tell me about performing with everyone for the first time?
yeah." I mean, so we didn't actually even get to perform because we couldn't. So we spent
Right.
time. We actually like got a lot of time to practice together,
Hmm.
which was really nice because I feel like otherwise, you know, the band would have started, we immediately would have been like in boot camp rehearsals and then going on tour opening for somebody. And
Hmm.
so we wouldn't really feel as comfortable with each other as we do now.
Hmm.
Um, because, you know, so we just have done a couple, we've kind of been like doing a string of shows actually now that I look at it. We just did Nashville and then we
Hmm.
did 2 shows in LA and then Austin pretty back to back.
And you're
And
doing San Diego coming up, I think.
yeah, we're doing an LA show in 2 weeks that I
Okay.
just found out about yesterday. So that's exciting.
Awesome.
And then San Diego right after
That
that.
is
Oh
cool.
yeah, we'll see you there.
Well, no, I'm in Nashville now, which is
Oh,
funny. Yeah. And well, you guys did Blended, right? The Blended Festival.
yeah, we
How,
did.
how was that? That looked like it was rad. And I didn't know that they did three of them. I thought that was just this Nashville thing, but then it's like San Diego and it wasn't Austin, the other one.
Yeah.
So did you do the Austin Blended also?
Yeah, we just did that. And just came back. But it was really fun. It was really awesome to do a festival because there's like, you know, people are coming to see all different artists.
Mm-hmm.
And it also gives us an opportunity to like see how other artists are performing. Excuse me. And since we, you know, not only could we not perform, like as people, we couldn't go to concerts, you know. So I've really, you know, especially Summer is like a big concert girl. So she definitely was like, yo, I need to get back into concerts. Um, and so yeah, just being able to be at concerts, Ludacris and Cascade in Nashville,
Oh yeah,
so fun.
that's cool.
Um,
You get to play with the Chainsmokers in San Diego.
yeah, I'm really excited for that one. It's gonna be great.
Who headlined the Austin one? You remember?
Nelly and Cascade.
Oh, okay, cool. So Nelly, I think, is on San Diego also. Cascade was in Nashville. That's awesome. That's rad. So you
Yeah,
got to do those, and then you have a show in LA coming up as well.
yeah, we've shown LA on the second, yeah, October 2nd. And that's just us. So that's gonna be fun.
Where are you guys playing? Do you remember, or do you know?
It's the Peppermint Club in Hollywood.
Okay,
I don't know if you've ever been there.
I'm
I've
not.
been.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's like kind of again with the manifesting fate thing. Like one of the first like girls' nights that we did together as a band, trying to get to know each other. We actually went to the Peppermint Club.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, and we ended up seeing like a rap showcase that was just a bunch of like a bunch of rappers just you know, practicing.
Hmm.
Um and we ended up like becoming friends with some of them and like watching, you know, we're watching their careers and they're watching us, and it's crazy that now after, you know, a year and a half, like we are performing there too. And
Hmm.
you know,
Very cool.
like but together, like now it's the same, but we're on stage now.
Hopefully they'll be there in the audience so you
Yeah.
support them. Well, and you have a new song out now called "Build a Boy,"
Yeah, our most recent song, Build a Boy, we have a song out, and then we did an like a live
like
unplugged
acoustic
version.
video, right?
Yeah, and then also the music video.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know, for those of you that haven't heard it, it's definitely a lot different than our previous stuff. It's a lot, you know, we were really trying something new and like trying to I don't know, it's very easy, I think, especially like in the pop girl group world, to just all the time be everything's great, party, dancing, lights, outfits, lipstick. Like my girls are bad bitches and we twerk. You know, like it's very
Right.
easy to just because it also is so fun, you know, and we want women and we want everybody to feel jazzed and hyped up and like you're driving to work in your Subaru and you're like, I'm the baddest bitch about to give an awesome presentation, you know? Um, so Build a Boy was really like, okay, there's that, and we can do all the fun dancing, party in the world, but also bad bitches can have bad days, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
we can be hurt, we can be emotional, and you know, we can regret relationships. There can be, you know, we can wish that we could build the perfect partner because our partner is treating us poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so it was really different to kind of try or to do something that's more vulnerable and exposed. But we've gotten such a good response from it, and people really have like resonated with the message, and still are like, it's a bop, but it's sad. Um,
Yeah. You don't hear, like you said, you don't hear too many like sadder songs from like pop groups, right? I mean, like more of, especially like a Pussycat Dolls type situation where it's like, oh yeah, like up, like woo, like party all the time, like yeah, and then to have a song like that, yeah, it's totally different.
yeah, but also now I'm like, okay, we were, you know, we weren't sure people were going to be down with it because they're like,
Hmm.
if people are expecting girl group anthem dance bops all the time, but people were so supportive, and so now there's a lot of other songs that we've written or that we've been working on that we're feeling a lot more comfortable putting out, that
Hmm.
like we can kind of start to showcase different aspects of our personalities. But yeah, I don't know, what's your favorite season song?
I like Faster.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I my Uber's here actually.
Why you don't like that one?
No, I'm a behave head, you know.
Oh,
I'm to
sorry.
behave all day all night.
Okay, I should have said Behave because I know that that was your jam,
I
especially.
told you earlier. I
You
gave you
did. I know. I failed because I had just listened to all your songs and I really liked Faster. I like them all, but that was the one that stuck out in my head. Um, well, okay. So you have some shows coming up. What about new music? You have a bunch in the pipe.
Yeah, we have a lot in the pipe. um
Okay.
we have a new single coming out, I want to say this month, or not this month, in October. Which if you've seen us perform live, then you know it, but anybody else is not going to know. Like it's you know, it's for the people that have seen us live. It's a little sneaky Easter egg. Um, but yeah, so that's going to come out in October, and then our EP is going to come out very soon after that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Very exciting. And you have a video on MTV too, right?
we do. I think we do. I
You
don't. Yeah.
do. I think Bill the Boys on MTV.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, so have you seen it on TV yet or no?
I have not. I actually don't have a TV.
I was gonna say I don't have cable. I hope she says something along those
Yeah, I
lines.
don't. I never did. Like growing up, like we had one of those like old school like box, you know, TVs.
Yeah,
But we really just
like
used
tube
it
TV.
to like put VHS tapes on. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, so actually the other day on my Instagram, I was like, I was never allowed to watch TV. Do you know what happens at the end of Wizards of Waverly Place?
Because you've never seen it.
I never saw it. Some of them got magic powers, some of them didn't. I'm like, what happened? Can someone just fill me in on like the last 20 years of TV really quick?
Did somebody fill it in? Did you get filled in?
I did get filled in.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
One of
I was
them
gonna,
was the sandwich shop. The other two got magic powers.
there you go. There you go. That's funny because I was gonna say probably 30 people have cable anymore, right? It's just all streaming services. But that's still cool to get the nod from MTV, I bet.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool, and we did a really cute interview with them, and they're really supportive and like posted a lot of our stuff like across platforms, and it was definitely really surreal.
That is awesome. Well, thank you, Autumn, for doing this. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
I have one more question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Oh, do I? pick a different career. No, I'm kidding. I think really just everybody says this, but everybody says it because it's true. Really just stay true to yourself and don't let what you think other people are going to like define what you create. I think that was also like a big hurdle for myself, but also for Seasons, of being like, people want a girl group. People want this. People want Spice Girls. People want Pussycat Dolls. And trying so hard to make ourselves be, what we thought people were going to want. And then as time went on, just realizing like, you know what, even if no one listens to our music, we're going to have to listen to it. So we should make stuff that we like. Bringing it backwards.